acrylic ink, and I have some here. It's by Daler Rowney. It says black, but I mixed two colors together because black sometimes is so intense, and so I mixed a brown with the black, and I don't know, it seems to be a little better, a little more pleasing to the eye, I guess. But anyway, I'm just going to do a really quick demonstration of how I apply the ink. And I'm going to start with this little rooster here. Can you see that? Everybody see that? Okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of ink in my really expensive container here. And use that. So. And I don't know a whole lot about using ink. Some of you know more than I do. I haven't used it for much more than what I'm doing right here. So it's just kind of a fun thing. Okay, so I'm not going to use a pen, and I'm not going to use a brush to apply the ink. I'm going to use a piece of 300-pound watercolor paper that I've cut, you know, in A shape. It doesn't matter what shape it is. I've got different sized edges. I've got some pointed edges to use. And then I might also use this skewer. It's just a little wooden skewer. And you can use a stick, you can use a matchstick, you could find your own way to do this, but no pen. And the reason I'm not using a pen is because, at least the regular ink pens that you can use, because they're too exacting. And this is just kind of a free-form, quick little thing. So I don't want to get too exact with anything. Okay, so I'm just going to take my watercolor paper and dip it in the ink, and then start outlining some areas. And I have a shaky hand today for some reason, but anyway. And I'm not even following this drawing very carefully because it doesn't matter. And I'm just going to put that on. If I wanted to do a thinner line, I could do one of two things. I could dip the pointed end here and put some ink. So this is what I do, and so it's fun to do it this way. And I just do it fast and furious, and when I get all done, then I add some watercolor to this little. And then the other thing is, if you use ink, you might want to use a glove, but I like hands-on. I like to work in the dirt in my garden. I don't like to wear gloves, but sometimes I have to. But what I find with myself is I forget where I've been. And so I end up with my hand in the ink, and pretty soon I got my whole hand full of ink. It does wash off. You just have to scrub a little bit. But it may not wash off your clothes, so you might have to be careful about that. Anyway, almost done with this chicken, and then, guess what? I'm not even going to put any color on this guy, because I'm going to do a different painting. Okay. So I'm going to do a little landscape. And put the ink on first, put a little watercolor on it, do it quickly, so that you're not too tedious and it looks loose when you're done. And then every line doesn't have to be perfect. So if you're one of those people who has to go like this, I don't know if you can see that, it's kind of complicated. I moved the boat from here over here because then it's more in the center of interest there. And there's too much stuff going on here. I didn't want it to be that complicated. And I've never been there, but it's really interesting, so it makes kind of a cool painting. Just bear with me as I go down here. This is these little seawall sort of things. They do have a little bit of shadow and shading on them. I remember when I first started taking classes I took from Dick Graves, and one of the things he said was, make your horizontals horizontal and your verticals vertical, and everything else will fall into place. Well, I didn't exactly get there on this one, sorry Dick. But anyway, but they'll be close enough, okay? These are some posts out here. See, you can throw your shadows in there. I'm just throwing in a few marks here. There. And I'll use my stick here. You can't do the same painting twice with this. Everything will turn out different. See, look at my photo. I've actually done this painting 3 times already. No, twice. This will be my 3rd time. So, I have to give myself a clue as to where I started. Okay, I'm just going to put some color on the buildings and use my trusty landscape sort of colors.
What yellow are you using?
That one is yellow ochre. You could use, you know, raw sienna. Should work just fine. And again, even with this, you don't want to be real tedious with it. Just throw it in there. And then a little bit of burnt sienna. Foreground here to have some, whoops, see what I did with that ink? It wasn't dry. Let's see if we can get some of that off of there. But it could add to the picture.
Sure.
It'll be okay. I'm going to use a hairdryer 1 more minute just to make sure that dries up a little bit. I'm still getting dragging some of that ink because it's not dry, but you know, it's okay. As long as there's not too much of it, then it becomes too dark. See? It's not dry enough. Oh well. We'll figure out something else here. Get that one. Let's try staying with this area for a while. See what I can do. Here's my favorite color right here. It's called Andrew's Turquoise. It's a American Journey paint. Anyway, I like it. It's real fun to use in water. And they're almost like tadpoles, aren't they? Big tadpoles.
It's a whale tadpole.
Yeah. Whale tadpole. There you go.
Made it up. It's a whale.
Do that there. Okay, so. Terrible. Okay, so that's just kind of an underpainting sort of thing, and then you can come over with it, you know, your blues and your other whatever you want to put in there, and see how it all works together. I want a little bit of green in here. I guess I'll just work with ink. It wants to go where I don't want it, but we'll just let it do its thing. Trying to get a little bit of green going here, and not being very successful. A bit heavy duty, but that's okay. Clean the talent off a little bit. white again. I meant to give this a coating of that, and because this paint is more opaque, I can put it over the other paint and the other one won't come through. So.
But I think that is
You gotta have some red in every picture. Some artists do that on purpose. They don't really have anything red in the picture until they're done, and then they throw a little red in there. But it actually looks kind of cool sometimes. So I'm gonna throw a little red in there. Of course, if you put it one place, you're supposed to put it
two other places.
but I'm going to wait on that. We'll see what we get, and then we might throw some more in there. I'm going to do...
Do you usually work with such a small palette?
You know, I have been, but I usually do 8x10s or smaller. It's a small palette, and I've just gotten used to it. And I just love holding it like this. I just love doing that. But my shoulder wore out with this. And it doesn't seem like it would do that, but it just started making my shoulder hurt, so then I had to put the palette down. But I don't know, for this I just thought I'll bring the small palette. I kind of like it. But the only problem is sometimes I get carried away and I forget to clean it out, and then you got a mess. But it's okay. Okay, so a little bit of... We don't have to go that far, but that's okay. Okay, now just intensify this just slightly. So I'm going to dry it up a little bit. Let's see, maybe I'll just... So now I want to just come back in. This is, you know, your kind of basic layer. Now you want to put a few more shadowy shapes in there to define a few areas. This is probably my center of interest, but I'm not real worried about it today. I think I will, let's see. Yeah, first I'm going to put a little bit more color in this. Not much red. Try it again. This is the only problem with a small palette, is it does take some cleaning up quickly more often. Some of my color. Oh boy, probably mud. And what it looks like. No, it's cobalt. No, let's see. I had cerulean blue and a little bit of burnt sienna. And I'm just trying to put a few little darker areas in here, just like shadows or just marks, you know, so that all of it is not the same.